Yo, welcome to another episode of the BJJ Goons podcast. I'm your host, Tim Bushmaster Spriggs, and with me as always every week is...
Yo, what's up everybody? It's Nico Ball, no Nico, and once again, I have left my mic stand not right. I am forever adjusting my mic stand when we start filming.
I have no problems over here. What's new with you?
Not much. No, I guess I have a lot new going on. I started a new job recently. So I'm teaching English language learners in DC Juvenile detention centers. Did you even know that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I guess I did tell you I wouldn't have.
I was a good listener.
Tim listens, ladies and gentlemen. Tim listens. That's what's up. Yeah, I guess I did have to tell you because I wouldn't have access to my phone during the day anymore. So I guess that's probably the hardest part of the job, but it's nice because it's a nice pay increase. So, buy some new equipment, buy some new toys, have a lot of fun with that.
Are there a lot of youth in the youth detention centers now?
Definitely there's a considerable amount. Yeah, and I guess I work between two centers, and one has about probably 56, I think, there. I'm not sure what their capacity is. And there's about 4 or 5 units at the other one, so there's a decent amount. And then there's also, I guess, you can get sent from a juvenile place to a residential home or a less secure facility, like a group home as well.
When I was a kid, my dad, in an attempt to scare me straight, even though I never got in trouble growing up, really at all, definitely not any serious trouble, he sent me to Oak Hill Detention Center.
That's where I work, yeah. Except they remodeled it.
I went back in 96, 97, the 90s. So this is, for those who aren't from the DMV, there was a time when Washington, D.C. was the murder capital of the country. It was really bad.
I'll Google who's the murder capital right now.
I would say maybe Flint or Chicago or New Orleans. Those are my big three.
New Orleans.
I was right?
Yeah, New Orleans.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Shout out to Currency, by the way. Jet Life.
It also says Memphis, Tennessee. That's confusing. What is the deadly most dangerous?
Memphis, I would believe, too.
Highest
Memphis is, yeah. Houston used to be real bad, too. Anyway, some highlights from my trip. I went to the center. So back then, there was a ground level, and then I went to the, where the guards sit with all the cameras and shit, and they got a 360 view of the whole facility. And then they gave me a tour walking through there, and there were young guys. To me, they were giant because I was in elementary school. Everybody was huge, but these were teenagers.
Tim always talks about being small when he was younger. He walked in and I was like, damn, Tim, I forgot how big you are. But I do know, I've recalled this story. So you guys got to go back if you're new listeners and hear some of his other stories. But yeah, keep going.
Just remember, all the guys were giant, but they were teenagers. They were playing strip poker in the mess hall, which is really weird.
Yeah. What? Strip poker in jail?
Yeah, it was very strange to me. I went to one of the guys' rooms. They had posters of naked girls in there. And one of them was like, yo, little man, you don't want to end up in here, man. You just want to keep your nose clean, stay up out of here, because you don't want to have to spend the night alone with us.
Wait, hold on. So Oak Hill, as I know it, in Laurel, Maryland, is a juvenile detention center. Were you at a juvenile detention? That sounds very mannish.
It was the 90s, and D.C. was the murder capital.
So were these young murderers, or was this adults, or do you not know because it was a young
my
memory?
Dad told me when we left that a lot of those kids were there for murder, drug dealing. One of them set some lady on fire, set her hair on fire. All types of crimes. It was Grand Theft Auto in that mug. And that's what I think of when I think about juvenile detention centers. And that's why I stayed clean, kept my nose clean, really. It was a mind fuck. And looking back, most of those guys are probably dead or in prison.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hearing the stories from DC jail and then going into like the juvenile detention centers, like I just be like, yo, do you know? I always ask, like, how old are you? It's like, how long do you get to enjoy this luxury of being a juvenile? But then there are also juveniles. I think you can be like 14. And it's what they call like Title 16. So like that means that you're going to be charged as an adult. Or maybe you have to be 16 years old, and that's why it's Title 16. But yeah, there are some juveniles that they consider to be titled, and that means they're getting adult charges.
You can get juvenile life, which is prison of 25. That's crazy.
Is that what your father was scaring you with?
I don't know. I don't really think it was necessary. It was just one of the most vivid memories of my life was going to Oak Hill Detention. Even when I would watch high school basketball back in the day, and there's a school called Oak Hill, and I kind of got like PTSD every time. They're like, yeah, Carmelo Anthony went to Oak Hill Academy, and I said, Oak Hill, like he must be real thugged out. He probably isn't, because he plays basketball. He's not a real thug. I
mean, what, you can't be a real thug and play basketball? That's not a thing?
I have a hot take about a lot of these athletes that are famous. They're poor when they're kids, but once you're a 12-year-old that's 6'3" and you can kind of play basketball, people are going to look out for you. It's not like your life is that fucking hard. By the time you're like 16, 17, you got the hookup and you're going to some kind of boarding school where you're taken care of. So
how
like
many boarding schools do you know of?
I'm just thinking about all right, how many 12-year-olds 6'2" that play basketball aren't gonna be like, yo man, I'm gonna hook you up, I'm gonna buy your mom a Humvee, like we gonna get you out of here, you go to this academy.
Isn't
like,
that illegal?
That doesn't fucking matter. So we just talked about people going to prison or the juvenile detention centers.
And we're talking about the athletes that are not trying to go into prison.
You're not gonna go to jail for getting money under the table. The college sports was until recently based on getting money under the table. Spending hundreds of thousands, not millions, on people to go to your school so you can win the Orange Bowl or the NCAA championship or some conference title.
We're gonna have to put a disclaimer on this episode. So
I'm just trying to
Tim's financial advice for aspiring athletes. He's over there whispering in little Lloyd's ear.
Most athletes aren't 6 feet tall when they're 10 years old.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Yeah. I mean, there's scholarships other than bribes. Like maybe, like I'm just gonna say scholarships and try to cover up the fact that like
okay.
Tim's
My dad
trying
told
to say
me
bribes.
stories. He played college football, and he talk about guys getting money handshakes and shit because people gamble on college sports. People got boosters. They got secret boosters. They get little no-show jobs and shit they used to get. So, that's how it is. But, congratulations on the new gig. You're doing God's work teaching these guys English. I'm pretty sure some of your students actually, English is their first language, but they need to improve upon their English when they're writing those letters to the judge.
Oh, dude, Tim been wrestling for too long, and he ain't even been wrestling that long.
It's kind of hard to get a lighter sentence with a whole bunch of misspellings and poor grammar.
Man, some people just don't know how to communicate, whether they're in jail or not in jail. It's like, yeah, some people really need to work on their persuasive writing skills, and I'm pretty sure that is what they're going to be working on in English this semester. I've had to work on that with people. I think it's called like a deputation. It's like the last statement you can make before a judge before you're actually sentenced.
Whew.
But yeah. How is your search for a job before we start talking about some upcoming competitions? Also, number one cities, according to CBS News, for murder rates are St. Louis, Missouri, with...
St. Louis?
Yeah, it's number one. Baltimore, number two.
Really?
And
we're number
Birmingham,
two?
Alabama. Well, we're in D.C. literally right now, but you do live closer to Baltimore. Birmingham, Alabama would be number three. Detroit, number four.
I hate to say this, but I don't like losing. I figured I'm kind of disappointed. I thought Baltimore would be number one.
Richmond is 11. Miami Gardens is 12. Washington, D.C. all the way at 13. That's because we're a small city. It says 23.5 per 100. When was this article written? Bullshit.
Well, there's a lot of gentrification going on and kicking out people out of the city. It's not like it used to be.
I wonder if all Maryland is getting Baltimore though. Like we better be getting like PG County. Like
If you watch,
Oh dang! This is a year ago though, so you know.
I watch the local news, and I watch the news. That shit is like murder. That's like murder hour. I literally every story is someone getting shot. There's somebody setting shit on fire. Just people getting raped. All types of stuff on the local Baltimore news, and the fact that they're number 2, I'm extremely disappointed. And I want to see the local news. And where'd you say, St. Louis?
St. Louis.
They probably have beheadings on their news, because I find it very difficult that Baltimore is number 2. Besides that, everything's good with me, man. I'm a very highly qualified individual, so life is good for me. Wrestling's going great. I'm doing a lot of kickboxing now, and I'm not bad. I'm actually pretty good. So when people talk shit to me, I just have to laugh it off, because I could really fuck somebody up real bad. Story of my life. And speaking of guys that fuck people up really bad, let's get into the show.
Yeah, so if any of y'all follow me on Instagram, y'all remember this week I was complaining about people from Brazil asking me for money. Sometimes they do it for arbitrary things.
Like what?
Like, yo, I'm trying to compete in like a grappling industries of Rio next week.
They have a grappling industries in Rio?
I mean, it's a comparison, like a minor competition. It's not IBJJF. It doesn't really fucking matter. And you're asking me a week before the competition. Things like that. Random things. Terede's cousin, who is Fabricio or Bajinho, and he's the head of like Terede Kids Project. He's the one that actually runs the gym, manages like the adults classes, the kids classes. He does all that. He's been coaching Moicano as well, since Moicano has been like a wee little baby with some big ears. We went to like Brazilian Nationals. The first time we ever took Moicano to compete outside of Rio, like Fabricio was there. Mind you, he missed the bus to Sao Paulo because he saw it fit to go see a dentist right before we were about to leave, and the kids' parents were like, nah, y'all gotta go, y'all ain't missing your bus. Anyway, he hits me up, he's like, yo, I need some money, like I'm not gonna get paid this month. I'm like, bet, I'm gonna see what I can do. I was at work, secure facility and whatnot, and then he's like, yeah, we're going to Korea. Like, I was like, when? He's like, at like 9 tonight. I was like, I was going to tell him, I was like, I can get you whatever, but like it takes days to transfer that stuff. I don't keep it on me. It's in PayPal. It's in like an account. So I was like, dang, you need money to go to Korea, and you're just telling me now. So some people were asking me why I was complaining about the Brazilians, and like people asking me for money and stuff like that on my story. But this was a case where him being the head of the social project, all he has to do is ask for funds for the social project to have all these traveling. So now if he's in a predicament, what I'm going to do is ask Jamil, or not Jamil, but Big Breakfast. Mm-hmm. If his Cash App works, he'll be like, yo, can you give them some money over there if I Cash App you over here? Which is hilarious. So in Korea for Spyder Invitational, which is super hard to find information about this competition, I know we have Moicano, or Jonathan Pisania, is fighting from Terede Kids Project or Dream Art, however you may know him. Jamil is over here. I saw another Brazilian, Nathan Chiang, is over there, I guess, because they have... Spyder is confusing, so that's why I broke down this outline, and then I was going to present it to Tim. We're going to talk about it, and Tim has had an opportunity to talk about Spyder. He's had an experience... I let these words come out. He's had the opportunity to experience Spyder firsthand. So...
I'm going to read off who's scheduled to compete. Mayram Makine, May, Wonky Chai, Shane Jamil Hood Taylor, Lucas Pinero, Samuel Nagai, Andy Murasaki, Marcio Andre, and Xiong Zhang, Lucas Valente, and Nathan Chung.
Where did you get that list?
I went to the Spyder Career Instagram.
Which page? Which post?
It's just the third
Let me see it, because
post.
I have a different post. Oh, he said just like the third.
They posted this 7 days ago.
Okay, maybe I took another one. But yeah, because I have like the first place. And I get Kevin Chodasco. I feel like, is he from Argentina? I feel like I know that kid.
Wait a minute. He's supposed to be. Oh, this is the other list.
Why are you reading other lists? See, this is the confusing part about Spyder. Because what I have is 10 black belt world class champions will be unveiled sequentially. So we have our negative 45 kilos, which would be first place is Diego Sodre, second place is Fabricio Andres, and third place is Kevin Chodasco. And then we have negative 75. We have first place is Jonathan Pisania, second place is Bonchio Cho, and third place. So those are the champions from the last one. And so because of that, I know Jonathan gets to pick his, or Moicano, it's weird to call him Jonathan. Moicano gets to pick his opponent on Sunday.
I'm pretty sure he's going to pick a Korean competitor. No shade, but those guys that I just listed off, all are really tough.
Oh, no, I 100% know that he's going to pick. Like, this is going to come out, like, afterwards. So, like, actually, Fabricio, funny enough, just texted me after I made this outline, before Tim got here. He sent me a picture of him and Jamil, because they're over there training. I guess they all go to, like, a certain gym. Him and Jamil, and then Jamil and him and Moicano, and they were like in their gis and everything. And he's like, yo, Jamil is different.
All right, so the way this works is there's going to be two brackets. There's going to be a minus 65 kilogram. That's the one with May, Wankiche, Shane, Jamil Taylor, Lucas Pinero, and Samuel Nagai. On the minus 75 kilograms, it's going to be Andy Murasaki, Marcio Andre, and Xiong Jang, Lucas Valente, and Nathan Chung. Are we going to do predictions, or we're just going to talk about what we think about the bracket first?
Yo, I'm pretty sure in that outline, I was like, I'm going to throw this to, it says it in parentheses, Tim, I'm going to throw this to you, because I only know about my homies. So I told you all about my homies and the people we know. We got Jamil over there training. So you went through the bracket. We see what it is. We broke it down. So what's interesting to you from that bracket? What do you think? What's best? I was going to leave it to the black belt.
I think that minus 65 kilograms is more competitive. I look at it as a three-man race. I'm not sure because Spyder did not do a very good job of describing the bracket or who was going to compete in it, what everything was. But hey, we're in America. They're all the way in Korea.
It's a different language barrier.
It's a language barrier. It's a cultural barrier. Also, I haven't been paying attention to it as much. I think it's kind of a three-man, like actually all the names in there besides Wanki Chai are pretty reputable or very well known. It's between May and Jamil. I know Jamil is coming off of some injuries, and that's always been his bugaboo.
Always.
And it's a shame, but what can you do? It's combat sports. I'm going to be blunt. Martial artists don't have the same access to the best medical facilities, the best doctors most of the time. I mean, Shane is lucky because he has Dr. Rosa, who works with high-level professional athletes, but most guys, they're what?
Just going to cut to pay the bills. Dr. Rosa is a chiropractor that we've interviewed before. So if you go to our channel, Google that, you'll see his interview. He dropped some dope knowledge.
Jamil's very lucky to have him, but most guys don't have that access. And injuries happen, and it's not like that's what pisses me off about the NBA. These guys get the best doctors, they get the best facilities, they get to fly private or chartered flights all the time, and they still take so much goddamn time off, like the fucking load management bullshit. I'm like, you guys get paid multi-millions of dollars just to play. And it's not like you play or train. I mean, they might train you around, but they don't play year fucking round. These guys are fighting each other in the gym year round.
There ain't no off season.
There's no off season, and they got to fight to win. They don't just get paid to just sit on their ass like most professional athletes you see on TV. But because that's his bugaboo, he had to miss Europeans. He's had to miss a lot of competitions throughout his career. So that's going to be a hindrance for him. Although it doesn't matter as much because he's so technically superior than 99.9% of the people in the world. May is a beast. May is, I believe, he's the reigning 2-time champion, or at least he's won it at least once. Did he win last year too?
He was not on that list of champions that I read out because he would have been. Is he minus 65?
We're talking about worlds, like IBJJF worlds.
Oh,
at least once. He's won it at least once. May has trained with Jamil. If I had to bet on it, I would say Jamil can beat May 9 times out of 10. And it's no shade to May because May is very great. But Jamil has one of these styles of grappling where if he's in his game, you're not going to be able to beat him. If he's healthy and he stays in this game, you're not going to be able to beat him. What gets Jamil in trouble is when he goes off script. I think with the money on the line, I believe the grand prize is $10K. Regardless, it's 10 bands is 10 bands. I think that Jamil's going to stay within the game plan, and if his injury isn't that bad, I think he wins. Samuel Nagai, I watched the footage of him. He's great. Lucas Pinero's always game. May is a superstar, but I would give the edge to Jamil. But if he's hurt, it's going to be tough to beat May if he's injured. But, I always root for May. I always root for Jamil. I always think that Jamil's going to win just from the technical level. And like your boy said, Jamil's different, man. Jamil's different. I've seen Jamil, gi or no gi, go against guys of all sizes and give them the business. I think that he could have won or just medaled at the last ADCC he participated against. But you know how ADCC is. Like, you're friends with the promoter. Like, you're going to get all the calls. Minus 75 kilograms. We got Andy Murasaki, Marcio Andre, In Xiong Jang, Lucas Valente, and Nathan Chong. Lucas Valente is an excellent grappler. I've seen him make a really deep run in Worlds one year, and the only person that was able to give him any kind of trouble was Lucas Lepre, and Lucas Lepre didn't really score on him. Andy Murasaki is a beast. And, of course, Marcio Andre is always in the mix. I don't know much about Nathan Chung. I think the two guys that got the best chance are Lucas Valente and Andy Murasaki. Andy Murasaki just has that momentum. He's just been on a roll. He's very dynamic. So I would say Andy Murasaki is going to win minus 75 kilograms. I'm very interested to see how these guys' games have developed. I spoke to Jamil in passing a few days ago, and he talked about how the lighter weight classes, it's a little bit more head-to-head. It's a little bit more old school. By old school, I mean pre-50-50, the Mendez brothers ruining jiu-jitsu by doing that 50-50 bullshit. And I'm here for it. It could be on Flow Grappling. I'm not sure if it's going to be on Flow Grappling. I just want to see the footage of these matches. Matches that I want to see that I'm looking forward to. I want to see May versus Jamil really bad. I want to see May versus Samuel the Guy on the 65 kilos. I want to see Lucas Valente versus Andy Murasaki. And I want to see how Marcio Andre goes against Murasaki and Valente. Because Marcio Andre is consistently competing. And, man, I know he's got a lot going on because most guys have to own a school, and that takes away from their competitive career. Anybody that you ask would agree. But there was a time when he almost beat Hoffa. Prime roided out Hoffa Mendez. He had a really good match, really close match with him.
He's a beast.
He is
favela
a beast.
Style, straight favela style.
Favela style. I remember I had a match with him at Purple Belt. He went favela style. And he actually stood with me, and I hit him with a train wreck and gave him a concussion. But he kept fighting. Like, he didn't puss out. And most guys don't even stand. Most little guys don't stand. And he does. And I respect him for it. No shade. Like, I respect guys that go out there and compete like they're trying to win and they're trying to, like, kill the guy, like, do every facet of it.
Make you a highlight reel.
Yeah, because that's what makes the sport exciting. If we just scoot on our asses and scissor each other, no one wants to watch that shit. And that doesn't prepare you for a real life situation. If I'm in a fight in the street, I'm going to grab you and throw you on your head, hit you with the earth. That's my analysis of Spyder Invitational. We're probably one of the few podcasts in this space to even talk about it, but it's so
Yeah, it's hard to
important.
find. Like if you Google it, like their Instagram is a lot of clothes. They call the competition like Chance or something, which is confusing as hell. Flow Grappling doesn't even really have like a full lineup on it for those of you that have that. So that was kind of annoying, but knowing so many people that are out there, but it's going to be really dope to watch. The stream should be easy to find.
You sure about that? Because I don't know where it's
going to be on
streaming.
Flow. It's on Flow.
It is?
Yeah, the stream will be on Flow.
Oh, well,
They
you
didn't
know.
post a lot of information about it, but yeah, the stream will be on Flow. And I guess, you know, they have a lot of Korean athletes, they have a lot of Brazilian athletes, so those people always fall through the cracks. I think Gordon Ryan's up to something again. I don't know. I don't care. But it's Black History Month, so I wanted to talk about some of your history. You got to compete in Spyder back in the day, didn't you?
Yeah, I competed for them twice.
What years? For reminding people, some people I know, I love when we run into people that like, they'd be like, oh yeah, I remember that match. It's like some people out there, they can like remember and they would be running it down right now in their heads as they listen to this. But some of the newer people that might not know you as well, tell us about your experience, well, the years that you went and your experiences in Korea.
I think I went in 2019 the first time. Yeah, I went like late 2018, 2019 for the Spyder Invitational. It was a qualifier for the final. I fought, what is his name? Fuck, I forgot his name. He was really good at 50-50 arm bars. Oh, man, I can't believe I forgot his name. Mateus something.
Dinas?
I fought him too, but there was another one. He was really good. I forgot his name, but I fought him. I fought Mateus.
Learn how to phone a friend.
And I fought Claudio Calazans in the same day. And this is when I started being a full-time competitor, and that was my job. I was teaching seminars and I was traveling, fighting these paid competitions. Most of the time, in that situation, it wasn't for guaranteed money. I had to either I won and won a lot of money, or I left home empty-handed. That's a different level of stress.
Yeah, facts, big facts.
Different level of stress. I'm so glad I don't do that shit anymore.
That crap, but we're focusing on the good of your trip to Korea. So, anyway, how long were you in Korea before you had to fight? Like, was it easy to adjust? Like, Asia is far.
Well, I made sure that I slept on the plane in accordance to the time zone that I would be going to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I didn't just sleep on the plane and wake up there. I wanted to make sure that whatever time it was in Korea at night, where I would typically sleep at home, I would sleep at that time on the plane. That meant when I got to Korea, I would somewhat be on the schedule. And that's when I started taking melatonin, because when you go to travel internationally long distances and your brain thinks it's a certain time, like the time back at home, you got to force yourself to get into that sleep mode. And that's when I started taking melatonin. That's what I did. It didn't take me long. I was there for about a week before we competed. Spyder treats you so fucking good. A great hotel. That's when I first experienced the space toilet.
Wait, what's a space toilet?
One that is a built-in bidet, an ass dryer.
A dryer? Like kind of like the Japanese, like
yeah,
toilets?
It's a bidet.
Oh, those are amazing. I'm gonna get one for here.
Ass.
I'm gonna get one for here.
And then like it's heated seats and it dries off your booty. It's really good, and I think that every toilet in America should have a bidet.
You can get them. They're only like $35 on Amazon for.
I'm talking about an actual space toilet, like the good toilet.
Okay, but okay.
Anyway,
Bougie.
They had a really good buffet at the hotel. We got to do a little bit of a tour around the town after the fact. And I think that they treated you like a celebrity. They treated you real good, real well.
So real good. That's what's up. Because that's what Bohemio said when he asked for the money. I was like, yo, why what the hell were you going to do if I couldn't give it to you in time? He's like, well, I just really need it for like when I'm going there and coming back. Like once we're there, he's like, they got us. I was like, yeah, but you never know what's going to happen. Like if you get stuck at an airport with no money, like DJ done did that when he went to Europeans and whatnot. But, because I was also like, yo, how's the food? Because, you know, Brazilians are very particular. They like rice and beans and all that Asian food. So he said they have like a buffet style. They have really nice breakfast, that they eat a big breakfast and then go train.
They got a mall at the hotel they have you stay at. One time I went there, we went to another mall, and they have very good fashion sense in Korea. They are swagged out. They make Americans look bummy as shit. And I bought this nice throwback starter jacket with the Chicago Bulls on it. I still got it in the crib. Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, that's the other thing Fabricio said. He was like, yeah, Jamil's real serious. And he's like, I don't know, I guess he's cutting weight. And he's cutting weight. And I was like, nah. Jamil's always that serious. Unless you're talking about shoes or music, like he'll be serious. He'll win that whole damn thing, take that check for $10, and you won't see him crack a smile. You see him in the store looking at some shoes that you can only get in Korea. Man, that's how you get Jamil to smile. That's how you get him to smile.
Yeah, so that was the non-competing aspect of the trip. I like flying Korean Air now. I'm spoiled, even though I got really drunk as shit on that flight too. Definitely
when you were coming back or going there?
Coming back. But on the way there, I was pretty disciplined. But I ate a lot. What else do you want to know about my trip?
All right. So you went 2 times, right?
Yeah.
So the first was in 2019. When was the second time?
It was early 2020, I think. It was the finals.
Right before the pandemic. Was this the time that DJ was also supposed to go? Were y'all supposed to be there together?
No. I don't remember. I think there was a time... He went a time before me, and he was supposed to go, but something happened. He wasn't able to
Did we ever talk about that on the podcast?
Not on this one, no. I don't think we ever talked about it.
Really? I feel like we did. So y'all should go back and peep the episodes that we did with DJ. Mm-hmm. It might have been on a Patreon.
Possibly.
But yeah, he'd be on it. So peep DJ's episodes, because I think we did talk about it.
The competitions in both times were solid. One of my crowning achievements as a grappler was being able to throw Claudio Calazans and take his back in the same sequence and win the whole damn thing. That means a lot to me because I think Claudio Calazans is one of the best ever. He was a muse of mine. He was one of my favorites growing up. I really admired his style. I catered a lot of what I did towards what he did. He did so much. ADCC openweight champion. IBJJF gi world champion. Hall of Famer. And I was able to beat him. Throw him, take his back. And shut him out. And to out throw him, that meant so much to me. That's probably my favorite moment as an athlete. For sure.
I remember that one.
It was crazy. It was nuts. And the second time I went against Nicholas Marigali in the final, that was a tough bracket. I think in hindsight, I could have prepared better, but I just didn't know any better, to be real with you. I didn't really, the training environment wasn't ideal, and I was lost as far as preparation. And if I could go back, I would have done things a lot. I would have done a lot of things differently in my career, but the preparation for that ADCC and for that Worlds would have been a lot different. I mean, not that Worlds, that Spyder Invitational, because, Nicholas Marigali has really strong grips. He's very good, and I just felt as though I didn't really have an answer at the time. And by then, I was probably pretty burnt out from everything. Yeah, I would say then. After I won Nogi Worlds, that was, But yeah, I say that those tournaments were great because the level of competition they brought out, the purses, the way they treated their athletes. It was something that I had never experienced other than the UAE tournament circuit.
Oh yeah, UAE is always really nice.
But it's a little bit better for Spyder because there's less of us. So
Very
they can
true.
really
It's like
focus.
creme de la creme.
Yeah, creme de la
Nice
creme.
hotels, nice treatment,
Bigger
nice
budget,
food. They take
yeah.
care of you with the clothes, all that. But yeah, that's what's up. I think this competition definitely goes overlooked. Like we talked about Europeans. We're going to have we're going to have Malachi who won Europeans this year. He's going to come on. I think we're going to meet up with him this week. We're going to have Vanessa Griffin back on. We did her virtually, but she was also over there. So she'll be coming on to talk a little bit about their experience out in Paris, which is really dope. Are there any other major competitions? No, we're gonna bring Sadiq back on though. We interviewed him last week, so if you haven't seen that episode, make sure you go back. He is funny as hell. Anything else you want to drop before we end?
No, I don't have anything to add. Just thanks for watching the show. You can find me at Twitter at MushmasterWins. That's my wrestling Twitter. I posted this highlight of me professional wrestling, so make sure you give that a look. It's on my Instagram. That got like 15,000 views in 24 hours.
Posted to his Instagram.
See, you talk about my Instagram activity. You ain't even
I got
look.
a new phone. I got signed out of Instagram, and I'm on the. You didn't post it to our business page. And I can't freaking tag you and everything. You gotta let the haters go. What did I do to this mic that it will not stay still anymore? I hate myself. Goodbye, y'all. Follow me on. I don't have Twitter. Follow me on Instagram at Nico. That's _new_Nico NICO.
Until next time, peace.